unveiling the stories and people that make our town so unique. I'm your host, David Wohl, and I'm thrilled to bring you this new podcast that explores fascinating stories and experiences of local business owners and community leaders right here where we call home. Grays Lake Rehabilitation Center is a community-based private practice physical therapy provider. Do you know they have 13 clinical providers with various levels of specialties, including orthopedics, sports, neurology, vestibular, geriatrics, pelvic floor, and aquatic? What? Did I just say they have a pool? Well, they do, and it's the largest indoor warm water pool in Lake County, featuring 2 underwater treadmills and swim currents. And recently added clinical treatment specialties, in layman's terms, Shockwave. They have both radial and focus units that are the newest tool in regenerative medicine, available to everyone. They pride themselves on the most current and up-to-date specialized care to keep you moving. If you're looking for physical therapy, make sure to see our friends at Grays Lake Rehabilitation. 1 minute, your world is normal. The next, it's gone. A flood, a fire, a crime scene. Your home shattered. Your business shut down. Your life on pause. But in the darkest hour, when chaos knocks at your door, that's when Serve Pro of Northwest Lake County shows up. Not just a company, not just a cleanup crew, but neighbors, parents, coaches, locals who care. Drake and his team aren't just restoring properties. They're restoring peace, restoring dignity, restoring lives. So when your worst day arrives, call the oh no guy who becomes your thank God guy. Serve Pro of Northwest Lake County. Locally owned, nationally known, unshakably trusted. From devastation to restoration. Serve Pro, Northwest Lake County.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode here. We are recording here at the end of Center Street and Lake Street at the Loop Marketing. Big shout out to my buddy Eli for letting us record here. So if you guys are looking for anything marketing, make sure to come and see Eli. He's a really good dude. So today, I'm really excited for today's episode, guys, just so you know. So I have Derrick and Sebastian, and you guys are from the Lake County Tech Campus.
Yeah, absolutely. We're both from the Tech Campus. We've been here for 12 years, both of us in our positions. And I'm Derrick Burress, and I'm the principal.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Sebastian Kapala. I'm the executive director of the Lake County Tech Campus, and it's a pleasure doing this.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming. I love it. So the first thing I want to get out of the way, too, because I said something affiliating you with CLC. You're not the College of Lake County.
No, we happen to be on CLC's campus, but we're our own freestanding building. We are actually a career and technical education high school for juniors and seniors throughout Grays Lake and Lake County.
Yeah.
But we do work with the College of Lake County. We are good partners. We partner with them for dual credit and any other opportunities for our kids to transition from us to them. So there's different bridges on and off ramps that our kids can take advantage of.
Nice. Now, since we're right there, I know we have a lot of things to talk about. Let's talk about dual credit, because I don't understand exactly what that is.
Yeah, so dual credit is an opportunity for high school students to earn college credit while still in high school. Dual credit's an opportunity for students to learn, get college credit while still in high school, and they're able to take classes at the Tech Campus, get high school credit, but also get college credits at a cost of zero to the student and the family. So kids are leaving our school with upwards of 9 college credits without even having to pay a single dime, and they're already well into their way of their college careers.
Wow, that's awesome. And they're still in high school.
And they're absolutely still in high school, yes.
Do you have to be, does a child have to be like exceeding in one thing to come there?
No, actually what we're looking for is a student that has a passion for the programs that we offer. We offer 18 different programs at our school. From automotive technology to computer programming to becoming a certified nurse assistant. So anyone that has an interest in something while they're still in high school, it's a great opportunity to explore that area and then continue on into post-secondary education.
Right. It really gives them a step forward, too, right?
It does. And also in that is we also have students that take our courses and realize it might not be them. So like, for example, I want to be a certified nursing assistant, but I don't like blood. You realize in that class you don't like blood. So that way you can come in and have an opportunity to go through the course, learn the things you like and don't like. And since we have 18 different programs, our kids can come in, move from one program 1 year to another to truly find their passion. And if we really want to put some dollars behind it, is they're saving that much money figuring that out at the age of 17 versus going to college and having tuition to pay for, realizing that what they're about to embark on is not them.
Right, and I'm sure a lot of parents listening right now are writing checks to colleges, and their kid still has no idea what the heck they want to do, right?
Absolutely.
That's a real thing, right? That's a real problem. That's the most common question people have is, how is my kid going to find their passion? How am I going to come in? Where's the real return on investment? And the return on investment is your child will figure out what they want to do.
And these are kind of classes and programs that aren't offered in most high schools, right?
Correct, yeah, and that's how the whole tech campus kind of works. Students come to us for 2 hours each day and then go back to their high school for the rest of their core curriculum classes, so their science and English and U.S. history types of classes. So they're taking their electives with the tech campus and then taking their core classes with the high school still.
And a way to look at it, too, is when you think of, like when we were in school, and our kids have the same model. You go to a math class, you take math. You go to English, you take English, et cetera, et cetera. When you come to us, yes, we teach you a career, like CNA, EMS, whatever that may be, but we are the applied academic side. You take all those skills you would learn and maybe not understand why am I taking this math class or English class, and our teachers put it into application. So it makes sense. So, for example, you might have a child struggling in geometry at their home school. But they come to us in construction, they get it because they do geometry in construction every single day, and it makes sense to them. So it's a neat process to see that child spark, blossom, and find success in our programming.
Looking for a car dealer that actually feels like your hometown? Welcome to City Chevrolet of Grays Lake, where the vibe is friendly, the pressure is off, and you'll always be treated like family. Meet Anthony Scala. He's just not the owner. He's a guy that grew up in the car business, worked his way from porter to owner. Anthony believes in people first. That's why City Chevy sponsors your kids' teams, your town events. And matter of fact, this show, they give back every chance they get. Anthony thinks that the experience of buying a car should be fun. No pressure, just honest people who care. Whether you need a new Chevy, a quality used car, or just service you can trust, City Chevy is here for you. Come visit City Chevrolet of Grays Lake right off of 120. And thank you for sponsoring our town, our stories, our voice. Let's get after it, Grays Lake.
Yeah, it's nice when they can see a practical application, right?
Absolutely.
What do I need this for? And
That's a common question.
And this is what you need this for.
You know, it's like listening to my 4-year-old boy, like, why is this? Why is the sky blue? Why is that? Right? And you're answering those questions to a 17-year-old high schooler. This is why you're doing this, right? So, and it's fluid, it's natural, and it's an awesome process.
That's great. I want to talk about where all the kids come from, because you said how many kids from like the Grays Lake area go there?
So we have about 150 students from Grays Lake North and Grays Lake Central that come to us. But overall, we have 2,425 students this school year. So that's our largest number ever at the Tech campus. But all of those students come from every school in Lake County, and then like Sebastian had mentioned, 3 schools from McHenry County as well come to us each and every day. So it's a great opportunity, and I always like to tell the kids and anyone that comes to visit our school that this is an opportunity for networking for kids, because let's say you want to be a preschool teacher and you're taking our early education classes. You're creating a network of students from Gurney, from Grays Lake, from Waukegan, from Stevenson High School, and then 10 years from now when you want to be a lead teacher at a preschool and there's a director that went to school with you, it's an automatic networking connection that's already happened.
I love that you mentioned that, because I don't think 17-year-olds are thinking of that.
Absolutely not. It's a unintended bonus that they all get, and we try to instill that into them and give them those kind of life skills and work skills that are needed when they go into the real world and begin their careers.
It must be cool, too, to see kids come in there and really enjoy something, but also the same thing of making connections with people is they're like-minded, right? You get to meet people that have the same interests as you.
It is. What we find in our school is that kids want to be there, right? So that's a huge bonus, right? So since the kids want to be there, they want to learn, they're engaged, and that doesn't mean we don't have a hiccup here and there, but they want to be there. And realistically, when you look at our numbers, 12 years ago when we started there, we were around 1,400 kids, give or take. So our 10-year average growth is 2%. Realistically, the last couple of years, we've been growing at 22% year over year. So we're excited about the growth, and we can handle more. And it talks about that paradigm shift as a society that we've had, where we used to have a mindset of college for all. And college is important. There's no doubt. I'm not trying to take away from it. But the reality is college might not be for everybody at the age of 18. There's a maturity piece to this whole thing. So what we provide is an opportunity for a child to gain that experience to get them career ready, get them post-secondary ready with a career in mind, and or directly into post-secondary. So we create 3 different pathways for our children to find that success, whatever they want to be as they embark into young adulthood.
That's really awesome. It's a really cool thing, and I'm sure that you guys make a lot of parents happy.
Yeah, absolutely. We're always trying to help parents understand that a career is something that should be a passion, right? And there's the term that used to be used for a CTE class or a career and technical education course was vocational education, and there became a stigma with that in the late 90s that all students need to go to a four-year university. And so what happened was the term vocational education had a stigma attached to it, that it was students that aren't going to college go to a vocational school. And that's something that we've been working on forever to try and change the way that it's looked at in society. But when you look at the word vocation itself, the word vocation is to have a passion, right? It's your passion, it's your career, it's your job. And so that term shouldn't have a stigma attached to it. It should be your calling, your lifelong, dream of what you want to do, because we want to create students that want to have a passion about their careers in the future. If you're happy doing what it is that you're doing, then you're going to be much more fulfilled in the rest of your life. And that's kind of our goal, is to instill that into kids. And like Sebastian had said, it's some kids might just go right directly into the workforce, and that's great. We give them certifications, we get them ready, we're putting them on a pathway to continue that. But every single person, you, me, Eli was talking about the Google classrooms and things like that.
Yeah.
All of that stuff requires post-secondary education. We're lifelong learners now in our society, and so we have to continue that. And so even if you're going to be an automotive technician and that's your lifelong goal, you have to go and continue your education and learn new techniques, and electric vehicles are coming. You have to learn all of that stuff. And so that's what we're preparing our students for. So it might not be four-year university for all, but it is post-secondary education for all.
The other thing that we can do is when you think of a homeschool, to come in and run, let's say, like automotive, because we're going to go into this transition year over year. As for example, we pick on the electric vehicle for a second, in a good way, of course. For a homeschool to come in and build a automotive lab, to come in and have all this new technology in it for, let's say, 12 kids, might be unrealistic. However, if you take a look at our 22 different high schools that make up our population of 2,500 kids, if you take 5 kids from one school, 10 kids from another school, next thing you know, you have 250 kids. And then you have an automotive program that competes with community colleges and universities, where we can come in and provide the high-end experiences for our children. And it goes across the board for all of our programs. And that's how we can come in and grow and provide those up-to-date experiences for our kids. So going back to electric vehicles, our instructors are starting that transition. We are going to go train our instructors, I believe, this summer to come in and start implementing that. Not that doesn't mean that the traditional car is going to go away, but we have to get our kids ready where the future's headed.
Sure. Yeah, if I had to tell kids what to do, everything electric, right? I said if I had to go back, I want to repair solar panels, or learn how to roadside assistant for electric vehicles, because not a lot of people do that.
And the other thing we want to add to this too is that just because a child will go through, let's say, our entire CNA program, they might not end up in medicine. But the reality is we have transferable skills. And those skills are important from one career into another. And we've had kids come back that do something completely different in their life. The other thing we've experienced, like, for example, from our EMS programs, yes, we do have an ambulance once in a while show up. And it's awesome when you see all the paramedics coming up are our former students.
That's cool.
That's a real neat feeling, like, oh my gosh, it's paying it forward. Or when we have our student awards night at the end of the year, where you hear the names of all the young men and women in CNA that have not only earned a certificate by the time they're done with us, but also got offered a job and took a job so they can make that next step in their career. And for us, when you look at the careers, some of those careers are springboard jobs. And a springboard job is, this might not be your end of path. Like, for example, there's a young man in cosmetology right now. He wants to be a nurse, but he realizes that he can't afford the bill of paying a school to become a nurse. So he's getting a cosmetology degree or certificate so he can be a cosmetologist, give haircuts, and pay for his education instead of working, and no disrespect to fast food joints type of places, but you have a career path versus just having a job, right? So he's trying to give himself a leg up for the future.
I love that. Having a plan. Imagine that.
I know, days. Right? That's awesome.
That's very cool. Let's talk about some events that you guys do. I don't want to put anything timely on here. I know you have some coming up really soon, but I'm sure annual events.
Yeah.
And who they're for.
So, well, the first thing is, if anyone that's listening to this is interested in seeing what the Tech Campus is, we offer tours to stakeholders, parents, community members, business members all the time. Actually, the students are used to having business and industry walking through their halls because we want to get the kids out into those industry positions. And so they know that by bringing in a assisted living facility to tour our facility means that they have a larger opportunity to be working at that facility, be it for an internship opportunity, a clinical opportunity, a job opportunity, or a next step in life. So if anyone is interested in tours, we offer those almost daily. All you have to do is call our staff at the Tech Campus, and we can help you get that set up. But then we have some bigger events throughout the year. We have every November we have our Tour of Tech, which is an open house for not only parents and students of the Tech Campus, but prospective students, so middle schoolers, freshmen, sophomores that want to check it out, for different stakeholders that want to see it in action at night when they're after work and they don't have to take off time to come and check it out. And it's a really cool opportunity to see some hands-on work going on during the evening where kids can watch what is going on in the welding class or taking vitals in our medical assisting class, or seeing how a preschool lesson is run after school. So those are all really cool opportunities that we have every November. And then every April, we have an 8th grader event where we bring in about 700 8th graders from all over the county to come in and choose 3 different classes that they want to explore, and they do a hands-on experience there. So, for example, in the automotive collision repair class, the students are learning how to use a spray gun and actually do some spray art that they're doing that's 8th grade centric, where it is at their level, but they are also able to experience it. Or in our welding class, where they actually get to weld their name onto a metal plate and get behind the welder and put the welding gear on and the mask on, which is something that I think that the common everyday person has never even worked on a welder before, but to be in 8th grade and doing something that is really just amazing offers an opportunity to kids that they might not have.
Wow. So when we look at the concept of Future Quest, getting recruited to come, so we have a recruiter that visits the homeschools as well, to talks about the programs, all the offerings. We give the tours. The kids come on board with us, and then you come in and you can see that transition from 8th grade, because a lot of that program does work. We track the kids. We go from 8th to high school to all the way come in and finish our program. There's a tremendous amount of success and opportunity for our kids to take advantage of. And one of the things that it's the term that we're working on to eliminate, and things like this to help, is the concept we'll give a tour and people would say, we never knew this place existed. And what we hear is like that we are the best kept secret. Well, the reality is we've been around since 1977, and we are a few years or 2 years away from celebrating our 50th birthday at the campus. So we've been here, and we're trying to come in and change that. No, we're here. We're for all. And when we say for all kids, we really mean for all kids, whether you're going to be, again, circling back, whether you're career driven, whether you're post-secondary sum driven, or four-year institution driven, we have kids that come from all. And one of the things that we've done recently, and this is the help of our awesome board, is traditionally kids don't get weighted credit. And weighted credit is like, for example, you got standard weighted credit, you get honors credit, or AP credit. Kids that take up dual credit courses are getting either honors and or AP credit for coming to us. So there is a paradigm shift. We are at the 26 career centers across the state. We are the only ones, thanks to the help of our awesome board, to come in and give that opportunity to our kids, so kids don't skip a beat. And kids that normally would not have that opportunity to take an honors level course or an AP course, they get it. And ultimately, they are taking college level courses. Why shouldn't they get those credits?
Absolutely, right?
So it's awesome. It's a great experience.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. Okay, so that's Future Quest. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, the 8th graders, yeah.
Okay,
so those are our big events that we have during the school year. I do want to talk a little bit about, Sebastian had just mentioned our board of control. And so a typical high school or community unit school district has an elected 7-member board, right? You want Grays Lake North and Central have one board that is elected by the local citizens. At the Tech Campus, our board of control is every superintendent that sends to us. So we have 18 different board members that come and and work with us to make the best decisions for students, which is a cool opportunity because all of our board members are educators at the highest level in all of Lake County. And so they buy in to what it is that the tech campus is, and they're huge proponents of what it is. And so they give Sebastian and then myself the opportunity to experiment in these educational settings to help students to gain the experiences that they need to continue on into their next steps.
Interesting way to do it too, right? You get all the people that really know what's going on and bring all those people together.
Absolutely, yeah.
And even though we are our own building, we are a extension of what the homeschool offers, right? So we talked about that, but Derrick talked about this a little earlier. A student at the homeschool might take what is considered an entry-level introductory course into something that would transition into us. The kids come to us junior, senior year to come in and take that next level capstone project to see truly what it looks like in the industry. And that really transfers into, and Derrick's going to talk about this a little bit, about the celebrations of partners, because our business partners are huge, which ultimately transfers into work-based learning. And work-based learning is you're learning at the homeschool, you apply it at the tech campus, and then we send you off on a paid internship so you can come in and really get the experience. Okay, now you're in the real world. The teachers are not there. Are you thriving? And if you are thriving, that's great. And if you're not, and we have that too, which is okay, we come in and help build that student up so they find that success. And when we say internship at the tech campus, that doesn't mean we have, here's a broom kid, sweep the floor. Our expectation is that you come in and work all the different departments to see what your passion is. And we have, that's part of our Give Me 10 program. Then we build it up into that Give Me 50 program, the extra 50 hours, to see what the student can do at that position moving forward. And it's an awesome opportunity. Right now, we have 150 kids, give or take, last year that participated in our program. Before that, I think we're at 60 kids, and the first year out, we were at 30 kids. So we are growing exponentially. So as we talk about this now, we're super thankful for all the business partners that come join us to be part of this adventure, because there's a certain amount of risk when you take it on a high school kid, right? There is, but they do a great job with them, and we're super thankful of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm sure that they appreciate people that are already interested in it too, other than hiring somebody off the street that, just applying for a job. If they already have the practical experience there, that'd just be great.
If I can, I'll expound on how this whole internship idea took place. About 3 years ago, the state of Illinois passed the College of Career Readiness Endorsement Pathway, which is an opportunity for students on their high school transcript to say, it's kind of a stamp of saying you are ready to continue on into the next step of your career. And so what students have to do for that class is they have to earn 6 college credits, which is dual credit. We talked about that. They have to do a number of team experiences and industry experiences where they do competitions that are judged by business professionals, and have different work-related experiences. But then there's a work-based learning component, which is what Sebastian talked about, our internships. And so what that is students have to do 60 hours of internship experience in order to get this pathway. And so right about the time that this endorsement happened through the state of Illinois, one of our business partners who owned Kloss Tire, Sue Dixon, and our automotive services instructor created a program called Give Me 10, which Sebastian just talked about. What Give Me 10 is we went to businesses and said, we're not asking you for a ton of time. We want 10 hours. Give us 10 hours with a student. That's all we're asking, see what you can do. And it's an intensive shadowing experience. Like Sebastian said, we don't want to put a broom in your hand and have you go wash the bathroom or something like that. What we want you to do is get the kids, if it's an automotive program, under the hood, doing exactly what you would do, shadowing your automotive technicians. Or if it's a culinary arts, being in a restaurant, making the orders, fulfilling the orders and delivering them to wherever they need to go.
We're taking a quick break just to say hello because everybody knows Nano, and Nano knows real estate. And actually, I believe that's the name of her Instagram page. So if you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or know somebody in the market for a home, contact Nano from Baird & Warner. She's a Grayslake girl helping out Grayslake people.
The Grayslake Chamber of Commerce isn't just networking, it's opportunity. Members get exposure through local events, online directories, and social media, plus access to exclusive resources that help businesses succeed. Make new connections, grow your brand, and be part of the events that bring our town together. Learn more and join today at grayslakechamber.com. The Grayslake Chamber of Commerce, the new wave of business.
This is Bob Churchill, I know you are always there for your family, caring for your children, your spouse, and even your parents. But in critical times, will you be able to make decisions that assure the best result for your family? A power of attorney may be necessary if, on behalf of a loved one, you need to talk to a doctor, a bank, or the college infirmary. A power of attorney may sound daunting, but the lawyers at Churchill, Quinn, Hamilton, and Van Doncelar can easily create this document for you. We are right here in Grays Lake, supporting the community for over 122 years. Reach out to us at grayslakelaw.com or call us at 847-223-1500. Whether you need a power of attorney, a will, or legal help with your business, we'll take care of you so you can care for others. Go to grayslakelaw.com today for more information. Have a wonderful day, and now back to the program.
And so just give us 10 hours. And in order to do that with 2,400 students, that's a lot of 10 hours to be given. And so we are constantly looking for business partners out in the local areas to say, I think that I have a need for workers. I want someone to be here. I think that we can do this. I can give you 10. And that's the first step. So we get those 10 hours, we get the kid over there, and after the 10 hours are completed, the business partner, the teacher, and the student all say, you know what, do we want to continue on to the Tech 50, which is what Sebastian was saying. And that's an additional 50-hour internship, and that's where it gets really intensive. 50 hours for a high school student is a lot of hours to give up. They have sports, they have jobs, they have parental they have to take care of brothers and sisters. They have to, do a lot of things that we put those burdens on our students. And to say, hey, we want you to do 50 more hours outside of school. Go give up your Saturdays and Sundays. So what we were able to do through a very generous grant was we're paying our students $500 to do that 50 hours. So now all of a sudden, doing a 50-hour internship becomes a opportunity to be able to have a little bit of money, to be able to, really get that career started, and then to ultimately get that endorsement on their transcript that says they're career ready. And so many of these students are being hired on by the actual companies that they're working. And even if it's just a summer job before they start their post-secondary education, it's helping the business out, it's helping the student out, it's giving experiences. And those are all the important things that we want to continue to push for our students.
The cool part is, so these kids come back and they talk about their experience. So this young lady I'll never forget. So she's sitting there during our celebration of partnerships, and she's sharing her story and basically saying thank you for this opportunity, and goes, look, I like the hospitality industry. I happened to enter in a very high-intensive kitchen. Hated it. She said it politely. It was not my thing. Mm-hmm. But by the time she was done, but I still loved the hospitality industry. I'm just going to do this. So she, even though her own profession or her goals shifted, she knew exactly what she liked and she didn't like. The other one was we had two welders. These two young men stood up from completely two different paths. And one young man goes, I love this. I love this Sparks. This is what I want to do. I am going to get my certs. I want to go in industry. And the other young man stood up. I love this as well. However, I am that four-year student bound. I'm going to go to college. I want to get my degrees because I want to do something different with welding. And it's just an awesome stories when you hear those things from kids. There's one thing like us talking about all the good things. But getting kids in front of the mics and talking about their experience in front of adults, that's really where you're paying it forward. And when you do come to the tech campus, we level the playing field. No kid, doesn't matter from what zip code they come from, they're all treated the same. They all get the same access. It just doesn't matter. We are here for all kids.
I absolutely love that. I was just thinking about all the time saved, even when bringing them in a direction. But if they wouldn't do the plus 10 or 50, otherwise you don't end up wasting a bunch of time following something you get to know right away. Do I like this? Is this my passion? Is this my purpose?
Yeah, we're so lucky at the Tech Campus because Sebastian talked about it. We're the largest one in the state of Illinois. There's over 20 career centers in Illinois. But the opportunities that we're able to afford students are something that we don't take for granted at all. And what's neat is this Give Me 10 program created by Sue and Jack is not only filling Tech Campus halls, it is being utilized throughout other parts of the state at other high schools that aren't in Lake County. And that's kind of our goal. Is what we want is to be this leader in what career and technical education can be throughout the state, regionally and then nationally, to build out this program to say, this is where it is. This is the way that we get kids to continue into their areas and continue that passion project that they started their junior or senior year, and to be able to build upon it.
Wow.
The one thing I want to shift to, and this is very important, when you think of educators, and you hear this, it's on the news, you can read about it, there's a shortage of educators. When you come to our building, over 90% of our educators come from industry. They're non-traditionally certified. So Derrick and I went through the traditional process. We graduated high school, went to a 4-year institution, got a teaching degree, got a master's degree. I happen to get a doctoral degrees to get all the certificates so we can do the work that we can. But the teachers in front of the kids are actual individuals that worked in the industry. They know what the industry is like. They got recertified, they come work for us, and they're sharing their experiences, their own passions for the industry with those future leaders in that industry themselves. So it's just a beautiful, when you look at like paying back to your community, that's what we do. And our teachers come from all over Lake County to come in and work for us.
That's awesome. I want to circle back just for 1 second. It's important. Let's say somebody's listening to the show right now, business people, and they want to be involved in the Give Me 10, Give Me 50. Like, oh, we would love to be a part of that. We can put this in the show notes too, information, but how do they go about that?
All they have to do is contact myself, Sebastian. We have a whole team kind of ready to start those kind of conversations, get them into the tech campus, do a tour, check it out. We have a roadmap that we call the tech, right? Teaching, educating, and continuing and honoring. And that tech roadmap is kind of a path for our business and industry partners. The first T is just, checking it out, talking about it, seeing what the tech campus is all about, come in for a tour, and then it continuously progresses. The next step might be to come in and speak about your business to the students in the classroom. A lot of students in the, medical classes that we have, they see medical assistant, they see nurse, but they might not know about a phlebotomist or something like that. And so if that is where your business is and you want to kind of help students to understand that and to get into that, then they're able to branch off in still the same field but continue forward. And as we continue down, we look to opportunities like interning in the C category, and then finally the H, the honoring, is we rely heavily on donations from our business and industry. For example, Grays Lake donated a fire truck to us just a few years ago, and that fire truck was on the road. And and then when Grays Lake decided that it's time to buy a new fire truck for their department, they're like, hey, we have this extra fire truck. I think that this would be a great opportunity. So now the students have a working fire truck that is able to go and spray water and do all the things that a firefighter would use and learning in that fire science avenue and pathway. And we couldn't do that. We can't afford a $250,000 fire truck. But when a business and a business partner realizes that, hey, this would be something that would really benefit our kids, and we're happy to accept those kinds of donations to help continue forward.
Is there any industry that because I'm sure some are like really open arms and probably have a lot more than others. Is there anything that's lacking or anything that you're really looking for in an industry that you need?
So we have very robust advisories, and an advisory is our business partners. We kind of branch off from let's say we have 35 or 40 business partners. We branch that down to about 7 really dedicated businesses to come in and advise us on the next steps. Because like Sebastian said, our teachers come from industry, and they are masters at their craft. But when a teacher's been teaching for 15 years, industry still moves. And so we want to make sure that the classes and what we're teaching in those programs is what's going on today and what's going to be going on in 5 years from now. So they come in and help advise us. And so the other places that we're kind of struggling in is actually our computer programming classes. To have advisors come in from game programming places, from multimedia design, from marketing, from social media, things that students are really focusing on but has to have a computer background. Those are the areas that we would love to have some additional business partners. So anyone listening to this podcast, and if they run a social media company, a programming company, something along those lines, or even most places now have IT departments. And so you're not thinking about your business as an IT department, or a computer programming specific trade, but those areas still have that, and we need to get the kids into those areas because that's where they're going to end up being. They're very unlikely they're going to work for IBM specifically, right, which is just a programming and working through that. But they might work for a waste management that has a huge, logistical and technological side to be able to say, hey, we do have a spot and we want you guys to come over in this area.
Wow, that's a lot. One thing I want to talk to you about too is with the different people out there, and you talk about continuing education for even for your instructors. We've had a lot of things change, right? Even in take 5 years ago, with everything adapting so fast, you guys have to be always forward thinking, right?
We are. So, like, to give you, going back to an example of electric cars, our teachers, like, if you take a look at it, when some of them, actually, we have one that still comes back and works with us that retired recently. He started working on carbureted engines, and then he moved into fuel injectors, and then they progressed it into what the engine is today with all the electronics and all that good stuff. But the reality is our teachers have to make that leap towards electrics. And when we have conversations with them, yes, there's a curricular adjustment. That's the easy part. The hard part is actually going out there and getting trained on how to safely work within that environment yourself, right? The next step is how to safely work and train young men and women into going into that profession as well. So yes, we're always looking at it to be on the cutting edge. We're always upgrading our equipment. To give you an example, when you look at our welding shop, when we first started 12 years ago, we have what we consider our welding shop, which would be dirty, grimy. It's just a welding shop. However, 2 years ago, we invested $2 million into what we consider a modern welding shop, where the floors are clean. It's extremely clean. We have robotic welding and all that good stuff happening in that environment to show the kids that progression. Yes, this is where you start, but that this is where you're going to end. And we're always doing that with all of our programs. When we look at CNA, it used to be that we had our labs in the individual classrooms. And yes, we have like 6 classrooms dedicated to CNA. But we built a college-level ready simulation lab where the young men and women can go from the classroom, practice those skills, go into their lab, practice their 26 essential skills. 21, thank you, 21 essential skills, to practice them there before they actually go on site to practice them with actual patients. Right, so we are simulating a college and industry level environment in our building.
Dr. Kapala, can you maybe just mention a little bit too about how you envision AI or artificial intelligence incorporating into all of our programs too?
So we started doing, actually this is the fun part for me. This is why I get reconnected with the teachers, right? So this year I was actually providing professional development during our teacher institutes that we kicked it off on how to start integrating AI into the actual learning environment. So like the easy part is like if you look at all the AI, Gemini and ChatGPT, we happen to use Gemini because we're a Google school. The easy one that everybody uses it for is we'll take this email and make it better, right? And it will do it for you. But the kicker is you have to learn, does it have a voice? Is it conveying what you want to do? Do you know how to tell it a prompt to help you create the lesson and make it better and make it more up to date, to make that planning process easier? And ultimately, the way we're approaching AI is not replacing the teacher. You're not creating the lesson for the teacher. You're just helping the teacher organize your thoughts to have a lesson that's more productive and up to date. So instead of spending 2 weeks on creating an awesome lesson, like our teachers do, now you can kick it down to maybe a weekend. Right. So we're learning how to integrate it in such that we're not eliminating manpower, lack of a better word, but we are enhancing our own abilities so our teachers can be that much better and faster for our students, because ultimately our kids at the middle schools and up are growing up with the technology, no different than we grew up with the internet, if you think about it.
Yeah, things have changed. They're growing up completely
They're
different,
moving
especially
fast,
now
right?
moving forward.
And I think like the opportunity with AI would be, for example, I'm going to be a CNA, a certified nurse assistant, and I have to do a 44-hour clinical rotation at an assisted living facility. So our kids are going for 44 hours and working with the actual clients at an assisted living facility, doing things like bed changes, bed baths, shaving, feedings, things like that. So using AI to generate, while the kids are in the classroom, questions to say, I'm a CNA, I would like to, I'm working with a client at an assisted living facility. Please give me some prompts that a patient at an assisted living facility might ask me as a CNA. And so now the AI is going to produce legitimate questions that a student then can reflect upon and answer and work through with their instructor in a safe environment, rather than doing it live in person right away. So AI is taking opportunities to our students and enhancing them by giving real world examples of what was going on. Right? It's not saying, ChatGPT, I have to write a paper. Please write this paper for me. Right. It's saying, ChatGPT, I need you to enhance what it is that the next step that I'm going to be doing.
Yes.
The other thing I want to touch on too with AI and like the diversity of my team. So when you look at the team I'm working with, Derrick is a history guy. My business manager, she's a tech CTE person. Our associate principal is a math person. Our dean of students is he's athletic background. And when you look at our assistant principal of student services, she's got a counseling background. And the assistant principal for curricular instruction, he's a middle school instructor. When you look at all the career centers across the state, we are probably by far the most diverse team when it comes to academic experiences to come in and do this for our kids. We're CTE. That is our vessel. However, we want to make sure that by the time our kids walk out of our institution, they're faster and better than they came in. For example, 5 years ago, we implemented a reading strategy for our teachers, which is unheard of across the state from CTE. I've heard through statements like, this should have failed, but yet you are thriving, and which is an impressive pat on the back. And what that did is it taught our teachers how to teach kids that come in with all reading levels, how to teach and read a book that's college level. Because when you take a dual credit course, you're taking a college level course. You have to understand how to comprehend it. And we're seeing great results from our students and from our staff, to the point when we surveyed the kids, the statements come back. If I would have known this was going to make me a better reader, I would have taken a different approach. And that's genuine when we did it. And if you look at reading, if you can't read, you can't write. If you can't write, you can't succeed. And if you look at math books, you have to read a paragraph to realize 2 + 2 is 4. So we're doing those type of things in this institution to make our kids that much more productive in whatever they want to embark on.
Yeah, I love that. I love you use technology to get better and more efficient, right?
Yeah.
Especially things like that. We all see, and everybody listening has heard, AI is going to take away all of these different jobs, right? But it sounds like the real basics that we need, from nurses to welders to firemen, like all of these things, like these are jobs that those aren't going to be taken away, and we need more
taking
of
these jobs. Absolutely not.
No, it's going to enhance them. I think it's going to challenge our society in different ways. Like if you think about it, when YouTube came about, if you didn't know how to fix something, there's a video on it that's going to show you how to do it. That's just the reality of it. Now, that doesn't mean you understand all the intricacies that you would by taking a course, but it's going to help you walk through it. AI is the same thing. It will show you a path. That doesn't mean you understand what you're doing. You still need the educator showing the young man or young lady on how to work through a career.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you don't know the answer, you have to be smart enough to know where to find it.
Absolutely.
Right?
And not only that, and understand it. Right? That's the next thing. You found it, you read it, but do you truly comprehend what that answer is?
Right. Most people have no idea what to do with their aging loved one who needs help. Well, there is a solution. A company that provides care and assistance to make your loved one feel right at home. At Right at Home, their mission statement is to improve the quality of life for those they serve. They offer extensive services: personal and companion care, safety supervision and transportation, fall prevention, dressing and bathing assistance, medical reminders, meal prep, hospice support, ambulation support, stroke recovery, Parkinson's support. The list goes on and on and on. If you have an aging loved one that needs help, call Right at Home. Most people prefer to age in their home rather than moving to an assisted living or nursing home. Right at Home can make this happen. Contact Right at Home at rightathomenlc.com or give them a call, 847-984-0103. Now back to the show.
Yeah, I think that just the access to being able to find the answers is easier, but comprehension is everything. I want to know a couple of things about classes and careers that people are going to. What is the most sought after or popular thing that kids are signing up for?
Yeah, so our most popular classes, we have 2,400 students. Our largest classes that we have 5 classrooms of our CNA program. We have 4 classrooms of our welding program. We have 4 classrooms of our auto service program. And every class is a little bit different. It just depends on interest. And what we do at Tech Campus is every March, applications are rolling in for next year right now already. And so we start looking at, okay, there seems to be an interest this year a little bit more in computer programming versus firefighting, right? And so we look, do we need to enhance and expand that program and add an additional teacher to it? And so we're able to make those decisions early on and prepare our students. So this past school year, we hired on, because we are, like Sebastian had said, we're at our largest enrollment ever. So we added an extra CNA teacher, an extra welding teacher, and an extra culinary arts teacher, just because those are some of our more popular programs. But cosmetology is also popular. And these are all opportunities for kids to, again, get that experience while in high school versus trying to figure it out after high school if they want that. And so it's a cool opportunity to have. But we see some fluctuations every single school year, just dependent on what student interests are, because we don't want to force you into firefighting if you really want to be a police officer. Take our criminal justice classes, so like that's where we want to try and get everyone at.
All right, tell listeners too, because I understand a couple of the top classes that seem to be more popular, things that people don't know, other programs that are in there that might people say, well, I didn't know they did this.
Yeah, so we run a fully functioning preschool at our building. So 3 days a week, there's little ones running around in the classrooms, and the high school students are the ones teaching them. If there's parents listening and they want their little ones to come to our school, our afternoon class is completely free to the public, and our morning class is just enough to basically cover the snacks and food for the kids. But because in reality, it's the high school students that we're training, right? And so this is just an opportunity for the other students. A automotive technician needs a car to work on. The early education teachers need students to work with, and so that's what we want to have them here. So we want to have programs that the kids take ownership in and pride in, and so we run a deli 4 days a week at our school that is fully functioning, and so it's a great opportunity for kids to be able to have. We have criminal justice. I'll just kind of walk through some of our classes here. Early education and teaching, criminal justice, cybersecurity, game programming and virtualization, multimedia design, EMTB, where kids leave with an actual EMTB license, meaning they can get right onto an ambulance right out of high school.
Wow.
We have auto and collision repair, welding 1 and 2, construction skills and management, cosmetology, medical assisting, and trying to see if
we're missing anything.
I'm just trying to rattle them all off.
We mentioned firefighting earlier.
Yeah.
And the programs, these are the programs that have been around for a while. We're on biomedical, for example, is our newest program, which is also non-traditional to us because it just attracts a different type of student. But we're finding a tremendous amount of success, and the program's growing. And when you come and take a look at us and you look at all the different programs, in the end, we have something for everybody. And I said this earlier. Doesn't matter which program you take. All the skills are transferable. To give you an example, we had a young lady a couple of years ago, took construction, took welding. She never wanted to, per se, go in those industries directly. She knew she wanted to be an engineer. She took those skills when she went to college, joined a club, and she was welding the steel bridge that they were going to compete in nationally, right? And she was the only person on the team that knew how to weld. Right? It seems silly, but those type of things, you never know how this is going to help you. And a lot of times we're so focused, well, if I want to be an engineer, I got to be college bound, I got to take all these courses. That's great. But how many times have you heard, we hire these young engineers or medical professionals, they have no idea what they're doing. They're book smart, but there's no application to it. And we give both, the book and the application process at our institution. And by the time our students are done, they're extremely successful. And yes, some don't pursue it. But they still haven't, like, for example, should everybody know how to change a tire? Absolutely. How many times have you looked at the side of the road and the young man or young lady or adult's like, I don't even know what to do with these tools, right? At least our kids know, right? And the other services that we provide, like to talk about giving real world experiences, we have training Tuesdays at our institution where our teachers will bring in their cars once a month to give it to the kids, work with the instructors to get an oil change, tire rotation, whatever they're working on. Our kids will be working on their cars to provide that service to our teachers. Yes, it's great climate and culture, but ultimately what happens is normally a child would not have access to a real customer, to a real vehicle. Mm-hmm. Now they do once a month. And that's something that our instructors started, and it's working. So it's the little things that we do to bring in to our students so that way they are that much more educated and aware of what's out there.
And there's a lot of pride that goes into it, right? You're making those sandwiches or pasta or whatever it is that you're making, and you're giving it to the other students in the school. And so there's ownership there. It's not like they're just throwing it together and doing it. Or like Sebastian said, when a kid is working on, I have a truck, and when they bring it in and they're doing an oil change or a brake changing out the brakes, they're like, oh, I just worked on the principal's truck today. And it's something that not every kid has the opportunity to do, but it gives that pride in, hey, I'm making a difference in someone else's life today.
Yeah. In cosmetology, it makes me chuckle. So in cosmetology, they're always in need of men's haircuts. They just don't get enough experience. So we do have a clinic. You can come in from the outside and get our services, pennies on a dollar, to be honest with you. But I'll go in there in the beginning of the year, and random kids, they need to practice high and tight shortcuts. And I'll have a different student every time. And all I tell the kid is like, look, if you screw it up, we'll shave it, it'll grow back. I'll be back in 2 weeks, right? And it's hilarious because the first haircut's about 40 minutes long. You got to be patient because they're learning and they're going to make their mistakes. But by the end of the year, I'm in and out in 15 minutes. Nice. Because they've learned, right? But they need real humans to come in and have that experience. They need to learn that on a real customer versus just a mannequin's head. Right? Yeah. So and this happens across the building. I'll go in for like medical assisting or even CNA. They're doing blood work, blood pressure, all that stuff. Stick out my hand, take my blood pressure, take my vitals, do my sugar, just so you have a real person outside of a classmate that you're basically a stranger, so you can actually practice your skills. Because there's one thing, like for example here, we might be comfortable talking on the mic. Not everybody can do this, but you can through practice, and Absolutely. That's what our kids need.
Wow, that's really cool. The one thing that impresses me about both of you guys is how passionate you both are about this.
Yeah, no, this is something
you love
that
it.
It's a calling, right? And I've been doing this for 12 years. Sebastian's been doing it for 12 years. We came on the exact same year, and getting the word out about career and technical education is so important to us. And so anytime someone comes in, we want to, sing it on high and say, hey, this is the next step for our students to really find a passion for the rest of their lives. We want kids to find the same passion that we have for what it is that we do.
I tell people with all the stress my position brings, because it does. That's just the reality of it. I haven't worked a day in my life since I graduated. You got to love it. And I love it. I don't dread coming to work. I enjoy interacting with my team. I enjoy all the challenges that we face because I found my passion. I found my calling. And when I was in high school, I had an English teacher say, when you choose your career, don't worry about the money. Pursue your passions and then find a way to make money behind it. And you truly will never work a day in your life. And that's how I treated it. Every single day, I enjoy what I do, no matter how hard it is. And there's good days, and just like everybody else, there's some stressful days. But I love it. Yeah. You got to love it.
No, it's funny that because I went to a couple different colleges, but I didn't succeed at all. And then my junior year, I finally got to do broadcasting classes. And I went from a C/D student to all A's, and couldn't wait to go to class, couldn't wait to do projects. Mm-hmm. What I would have done to learn that when I was 17 or 18 years old rather than I was probably 20 or 21 years old.
Absolutely.
We experience that all the time in our building. There's actually, we just hired this individual on as one of our CNA instructors, and it was an awesome conversation. She said, my daughter prior to come, because her daughter is going through our EET program, she goes, wasn't sure about school, wasn't sure that school was her. When she came to us, found a path. All of her grades almost spiked. That's a common conversation. My answer to this instructor was, I wish I could tell you your story's unique. We experience this every single year where a young man or young lady comes to us, doesn't like school, lack of a better word. School is not for them. They come to us and our instructors ignite them, spark them, light them up, and they found their passion. Mm-hmm. And we come in and just work with the kid, and by the time they're done, they go back and they have a path. They are stronger students at their home school.
Wow. Well, thank you for what you guys are doing. I think this is fantastic. Sounds like you have the right team put together.
Oh, yeah, we have an awesome team.
Yeah, and the best right in the state. Yeah. So as we wrap up, I want to people that want to find out more information, what website do they go to, or how do they follow anything on socials to keep up with what's happening, and how do they get involved?
Yeah, we're on all the socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or X. And then our website is www.techcampus.org. Pretty simple with that. And then I believe you said you're going to put our information on there. So if anyone wants to ever contact us, feel free to holler back at us, and we'd love to set up a tour or a visit or just give you some information about next steps.
Right. What are the name of the socials? Is it just
it's just Tech Campus.
Tech Campus. Yeah. Gotcha. Very, very unique what's going on, right? And so I want to end with one question because I'm very interested here. So you guys have both been there for 12 years, right?
Yep.
What is the biggest change that you guys have seen in the past 12 years?
The stigma is going away. There's been a societal shift across both aisles now. So it doesn't matter which side of the political leaning you're on. Everybody supports career and technical education now. And the reason is because people realize that workers are needed, not just 4-year university students, that's absolutely 100% still needed, but also students that are career-driven that want to continue on. And a lot of our business and industry are paying for students to take their associate's degree once they get hired on to continue in that certificate program. And so as society kind of moves forward, we're starting to realize that, yes, we want our kids to be happy. And maybe a four-year university doesn't create that happiness. We want that passion to build. And the money's there for all students, right? And whether you become an automotive technician, a police officer, a firefighter, a game programmer, or a nurse, the money will come, and we're just building that passion out.
What I want to build on, too, is that there's on and off ramps. We are a transition, so like when you think of our building, it's a transition from homeschool. There's a roadmap to us being on an island in a good way, and then basically the off-ramp to, and then where you can off-ramp is, there's really, you can go to industry, you can go to college, you can go to a four-year institution and go from there. And there's no negativity behind whichever path you take. Because like Derrick said earlier, the biggest shift is that no matter what happens nowadays, all students need some type of post-secondary, whether it's a certificate, whether it's an associate's degree, bachelor's degree, and on. And our institution, the shift that we've seen in 12 years is individuals are more accepting that there's nothing wrong with an on and off ramps. And we have kids that off-ramp, go industry, on-ramp back on, and pursue their education. And it's just a beautiful process to observe.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Anything else we want to mention before we shut down here today?
No, this has been great, and I appreciate you, supporting Tech Campus and letting us have a little avenue to speak about our programs in our school.
Yeah, I want to come over and take a tour, too.
Absolutely.
I think it'll be a lot of fun.
And I just want to say thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you, gentlemen. I really appreciate you guys.
It's been fun.
Hey, wherever you guys are listening, do me a favor, whether you're on Spotify, whether you're on Apple, wherever you get your podcast, do me a favor and subscribe, because that way every week we get to meet somebody new from our community. And as I always end, especially these days with everything going on, we never know what our neighbors, our friends, family members, what people are going through. So I'm going to challenge you guys to get out there, do 1-2 different random acts of kindness today, whether it's open the door for someone, just giving somebody a smile on the way, because there's a lot of hard times right now, and you can make a difference, and kindness spreads like wildfire. So get out and do that. Thank you, gentlemen, again.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next Tuesday, everybody.